I just started that. Just make sure that one keep going. You want me to start this one?
Yeah.
Waiting on that one. Mine, I can edit.
So we got the trumpet. Let's blow right now.
We got a trumpet. Let's go right now.
Praise Yashiya. This is HOI Detroit, HOI Memphis, / Illinois as well. HOI Unity Feast of Trumpets. Praise Yashiya. We're here to bring out the words of the Most High on the Feast of Trumpets. And it's a beautiful time. Like the times that we're in right now. And like the brother pointed out at camp earlier, it's supposed to be Labor Day today for the Edomites. And the Feast of Trumpets for the Israelites. So it's a beautiful thing why the Most High has given us this opportunity to come back to our true nationality, who we are, come back to our true feast days and the times that we're in right now. And like I would say, everything we all give credit to Yahweh Shah. God. So we'll praise to the Most High. We got a quick Feast of Trumpets lesson. And let's start with Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 24. Leviticus chapter 23. Verse 24.
Everybody got it? All right, for Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24. Everybody got it? Say God. All right, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil, olive beaten for the light. The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation.
So there's a memorial of blowing a trumpet. It's not Memorial Day. This is not no damn Labor Day. It's the memorial, which is speaking about a constant memory, right? An everlasting covenant of Israel. And of a holy feast day of blowing the trumpets. That's why we blowing the trumpets of Yahweh Shah,
Verse 25. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
So you're not supposed to do any servile work. You're not supposed to be working on this day. Right? Now what's funny about the word Labor Day is like labor pertaining to what? Working. Right? You're laboring for what? Are you laboring for Yahweh Shah, or are you laboring for the Caucasian man? Right? Drop that and let me get Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 23. Right? And you hold Numbers chapter 10 and verse 1. Because we're in the time period right now where everybody got to choose, like it says in Joshua, choose you this day. You're either serving your God or you're going to serve the heathens.
Right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 23. In all labor.
It says what?
In all labor.
So Jake want to follow the ways of Labor Day, but the Lord said in all labor,
there's profit.
And what is that labor? When you're keeping the Most High's commandments, when you're doing His work. When you're going out into the highways and byways and teaching the blacks and Hispanics and Americans to return back to their God. That's labor right there.
But the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury.
But it's speaking about talking the lips pertaining only to penury, pertaining to what? You're only speaking a good game, but you're not doing it. You're not following in actions. Like it says in James chapter 1, it says, be hear of the word, also do of the word.
Right.
But our people today, like especially in camp, you know, some of this, they know they're Israelites or whatever, but more than likely they ain't gonna still keep the commandments of the Most High God. Because the difference between knowing the information and applying it. This is your labor of love, which is what? Doing the works of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Especially in the times that we're in right now of trials and tribulation and judgment all over the world.
Right.
Now's the time for you to get that salvation and to get protection of the Most High is by you doing this work right now. Because the Lord is going to judge every nation on this earth, and especially the children of Israel. And the Lord is bringing in hierarchy, He's bringing in ranks, depending on the works that you have done. Let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 14. Ecclesiastes 12 and 14.
Hey, man, hey, you got his head on, you got his head on. Word coming out. All right. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 14. For God shall bring every work into judgment.
So the Lord says He's going to bring every work into judgment. That's part of your labor. Right? Read on.
With every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
So what you have done in the dark shall come out into the light. If you've done good works for Yahweh Shemel Shai, the Most High shall bless you. But if you're doing the works of wickedness and of evil, which is you following the holidays of the white man, the Most High going to destroy you. And especially if the man of the Lord is out there teaching you to correcting your ways of your wrongs in your living and trying to give you a better way of life, which is you coming back to these commandments and these laws. Right? Why? Because Proverbs 7 and verse 2. God. Imagine how crazy our people is. They're celebrating a holiday that's not even theirs. And it's called Labor Day when they've been working for the white man for more than 400 years. When the hell you want to celebrate you working as a damn slave for the white man?
Right.
He's profiting off of your blood, sweat, and tears. And he's making money left and right up the wazoo. Billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, building all these businesses and buildings. And you ain't profiting from nothing. Bring it up.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 2. Keep my commandments and live.
That's your labor. You keep the commandments of the Most High. You work for Yahweh Shemel Shai, and the Most High will give you life and bless you. Right? So let's go back to the topic. Let me get Numbers chapter 10 and verse 1. So it's about the Feast of Trumpets / New Moon. Let's stick with the Feast of Trumpets. Bring it up.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 10, verse 1. Say, Con, you got it.
Numbers chapter 10 and verse 1. Anybody have to say con?
Con.
Bring it up.
Numbers, chapter 10, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them,
You on?
that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps.
So number one, the Most High said, make you 2 trumpets of silver to what? To call the people. It's like a calling. You gotta gather the people. You gotta let them know. You gotta wake them up. Let them know we're gathering y'all together. Like the Lord said in Zephaniah 2:1, gather together, O nation of desire. And we're raising up that trumpet. We're blowing that trumpet. Right? And it's to call the people. How do you know? Let me get Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. God. Supposed to cry aloud. Not supposed to whisper. And you gotta cry aloud. Why? Because we in captivity. Right? You get locked up in prison and you like, help! Get me out of here! Get me the hell out of here. You ain't gonna be like, oh damn, I'm gonna just stay here like this. No. You be like, yo, I don't belong here. The hell is going on? Especially if you're an innocent man. Yeah. Man, you're gonna be crying aloud like crazy, man. But what's messed up about jail in society, everyone got their own story. You go to jail and then they always say, and you be like, I didn't do it. And everybody don't believe it. They're like, yeah, here goes another story. Yeah. I didn't do it either. But in this captivity, which is us in America, the Most High wants us to cry aloud. He wants us to shout and get angry and get mad. He wants us to cry aloud by praying to Him. Bring it out.
The book of Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression.
So we cry aloud and spare not, lift up our voice like a what?
Like a trumpet.
Like a trumpet. A trumpet is used for what? For signs and warnings. We're crying aloud, we're shouting to the people, we're warning them, wake up. Like it says in Romans 13:11. Awake out of sleep, for this is not your rest. Right? Drop that. Go to what you got. Verse 2.
Numbers chapter 9,
Genesis 49.
verse 2. Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camp.
For the calling of the assembly to assemble who? The 12 tribes of Israel back again. Right? And it says what? For the journeying of the camps. Right? Hold that in. What are the scriptures?
All right. The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
And Jacob said what?
Gather yourselves together.
That's what we're doing today. We're gathering the 12 tribes of Israel through the words of the Most High. That's the assembly. Assembling who? The chosen people of the Most High God. Right? Read on.
That I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
And that's speaking about what? The prophecies that's happening in these days. Right? Drop that and finish what you got.
And when they, this Numbers chapter 10, verse 3. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Read on.
And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee.
So it says the princes, which are heads of the thousand of Israelites. We have princes, we have princesses, we have kings, we have royalty. Right? We have people that was in charge over thousands of people. And that was a structure, that was a hierarchy, that was an order. That same order is back again today throughout the elders and the senior men that the Most High put in these different camps. There's order. You got to actually obey those that's keeping a rule over you. That's trying to watch your soul. That's humble. That's sincere people. Because what? There's an order to it. If they get judged, you're going to get judged too based on your wickedness. And if you go off, you start going wrong or whatever, and they had a part in it, even if they didn't, the Most High might still judge them. Because the shepherd's supposed to lead the flock in righteousness. Read on.
Verse 5. When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward.
So you see in verse 4, speak when you blow the trumpet once, it's giving you signs and routines, how they operate. When you blow the alarm, the trumpet is also used as an alarm. Read on.
When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journey.
So each camp, and that's funny, because whatever happened to the individualites? The Most High said camps.
Right.
Camps, army of the Most High, the Lord of hosts. Camps is a gathering. That's why the Lord said gather together. A holy convocation, the word convocation means to gather. We got to stop hating each other and stop separating each other and start gathering and build as a nation.
That's right.
The Lord said it can't. You got people that come to the truth and they learn all this knowledge from camps, and then after they know a little bit of whatever the scriptures they know, now they want to hate on the camps.
Right.
How you going to hate on the camps when they're teaching you who you are? But because now you think you know every damn thing, you don't respect no elders, you don't respect senior brothers and sisters,
Right.
people that been there before you, that labored before you,
Right.
that give you the knowledge where they had to go back in those times. They had to go to libraries to look for certain books. They had to look for these different information, had to go to different library places and everything, had to get the card and everything, get them restricted from one building to another, had to search for this information and bring it to the people to make it easier for them to learn. Where now today you can go to YouTube, just one click of a video.
Right.
You get like 15 precepts off of one camp video.
Right.
But they had to learn that information. That's why they got to have order and respect for the people that are labored in these times that we in. You know?
Verse 7. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm.
You shall blow but not sound the alarm. These are instructions the Most High gave them in those times. How to use the ram's horn, how to use the trumpet. What different signs? You hear the sound once, you hear the sound of the trumpet blow once. Alright, that's waking the people up. Let them know, alright, we gotta gather. Hear it twice, hey, this one camp is moving. They're going to their journey. You hear another sound, hey, this one camp might be coming back. Different signs and learning these tricks and how to use the trumpet. You know?
Verse 8. And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations.
So what is that speaking about? On how to use the trumpet. Signs for the alarm, signs for war and everything. The Lord said it's an ordinance. That means it's an order forever. We're supposed to be learning that today too. When you blow the trumpet, it's a spiritual meaning as well. The spirits start to rise up. Demons and all this stuff start to rise up. But it also wakes up that spirit in Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites. Read on.
And if ye go to war,
And if you go to what?
if ye go to war
If ye go to war. So now it's speaking about how to use the trumpet in war. Read on.
in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you.
Now remember, we're being oppressed in a land where Esau, Edom is reigning right now. Where they have slaughtered so many Native and Seminole Indians now. But the Lord said what? Raise up that trumpet because you're going to war. But what is that war? Let me get Second Corinthians 10:4. This is a law. We're in war right now. We're prisoners of war. So as a prisoner of war, you want to just stay in jail and just get abused? No, you try to escape. But the Lord says what? Blow that trumpet. Sigh loud. Cry loud. Pray. Ask for mercy. Ask for help. And the Lord is saying, no matter what captivity you in, get ready. It's going to be a war. But He's giving you instructions on how to deal with it, how to do it correctly. All right?
Book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, and verse 1. Verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, to the pulling down of strongholds. Verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
Now, the trumpet is not a carnal weapon. It's a spiritual weapon. It has vibrations in it. When you're blowing the trumpet, you're rising up that spirit. To do what? Cast down strongholds.
Right.
What is that strongholds? Let me get Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 10. It says through God. All this is through God. The Lord has given us instructions on how to use the trumpet. What it's used for. It could be used for musicians, for musical stuff. Right? That's why you got so many rappers now that's getting killed the past 2 years. Why? Because they're technically blowing that trumpet, but for wickedness. The harp, they're playing the harp and all these different instruments for wickedness. But the Lord said you can use that trumpet for musical terms, man. To influence your people, to rise them up, to strengthen them. Bring it up.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 10. See, I have this day set over thee nations and over the kingdoms, to root out.
To do what?
To root out.
That's casting down. When you're blowing that trumpet and you're rooting out, you're casting down. You're destroying your enemy through the spirit. Because you're raising up that vibration through the horns of Yashiya to let them know what? Prepare for war. Prepare for war. That trumpet also represents what? The children of Israel woke up.
Right.
The lion has woken up. And the rest of you heathens is axed out. Y'all finished now. Because what? So many years, you have thought of a way to try to destroy us. All of these history that we got. Now Jake is looking back in the past and seeing who he truly is. See how he has suffered in the hands of the enemies, man.
Right.
That's why it says in Numbers chapter 10, go back to Numbers 10, verse 9. Yeah, come.
Numbers chapter 10, verse 9. And if ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpet.
You shall blow an alarm with the trumpet against those that's oppressing you. This is a war tactic, we are.
And ye shall be remembered.
And ye shall what?
And ye shall be remembered.
Now, that's the key right there. The Lord said, you shall be remembered. When you're blowing that trumpet, when you're crying aloud and sparing not, and you're crying to the Most High and praying and fasting, the Lord is going to start to remember you. Why is that? Because the Most High forgot you. Why? Because you didn't want to keep His commandments.
Right.
The Lord put you in time out. Why? Because you didn't want to keep His commandments.
Right.
But now, same as a parent see the kid stuck in the corner, he said, go out there, go in the corner for 5 minutes, time out. And then you start crying, you say, I'm sorry. You start asking for mercy and begging and everything. Any parent's going to be like, damn, All right. Come back. You learned your lesson. That's why the Most High said, blow that trumpet and He gonna remember you. And Hosea 5:15, the Lord said, I'm gonna turn my back from you because what? You didn't want to keep His commandments. And 1 Kings 8:44 on down, it says, if you're in the land of your enemies and you pray to the Lord, He's gonna heal you in whatever land, and He's gonna remember who you are. We gotta remember who we are, and that trumpet is spiritual with that. We don't.
And ye shall be remembered before the Lord your God.
And you shall be remembered. You know what's scary about that? The Lord will remember all the wickedness the Edomites have done to you. And that's this book right here, 100 years of lynching. What about the other 300 years? The Most High remember all of that. And the Edomites know that. But they want us to forget. Because guess what? They can't reach God. They can't reach Yahweh. Nimrod tried it when he built the damn Tower of Babel. Or that damn philosophy and garbage and dogma. But now the Edomites know, the heathens know, the only way to reach the children of the Most High God is by getting His children. For example, a wicked Jake, he knows if he can't get to the dude that he trying to kill his target, guess who the next best choice? His wife, his children. They're there. So now he'll have him what? Hostage. He'll take his kids and his family hostage in order to bring the dude to come back to him so he can kill him. And more than likely, he'll bring the dude in and he'll torture his family right in front of his eyes. And then he'll kill him. What do you think the Most High going to do to these heathens? The same damn thing. Because we're hostage today. We're a hostage today behind enemy lines, which is America. And we're going to prove that. Let me get Exodus chapter 21 and 16. I had another book. It was the Negro Rulers of Scotland. I can't find it. It was the Negro Rulers of Scotland. And it also shows us we remember who we are. Like the brother has right here, this book right here. Valley of Dry Bones, the what? Nature know no color line. It's showing our history of who we truly are. Being as kings and rulers, man. Royalty.
Going back on what you said about how He gonna do the same thing as them that they do to us. That's like when we came out of Egypt and Wisdom of Solomon, it tells you that he brought the mixed multitude out with us, and He was torturing them. He tortured them in front of us to show us that He loves us, and that if we follow Him, He's gonna destroy all our enemies for us. Everything that they do to us, He's gonna pay them back double.
Right. And like the brother was saying, man, that's why we want our revenge. The way to get it is not by picking up a gun or whatever. No, it's by coming back to your knowledge of who you are first. And returning back to your royalty, building yourself up. Coming back to your laws, reforming and cleaning your mind of wickedness and garbage and dirty things we was taught in America. From that filth, washing ourselves of that spiritual filth of all these wicked damn heathens, man. And returning back to our godly presence.
That's right.
That's when the Most High is going to give us His knowledge and power, man. Right?
21 verse
16.
Book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 16. Book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand.
So they stole us from our land, and now they selling us around like a bunch of hot pockets. And Jake got the nerve to celebrate Labor Day, or even the 4th of July, or Memorial Day. Nigga, the memorial is you keeping these laws, man.
That's right.
The Lord said for everlasting, memorial, everlasting. Memorial pertains to what? Memory. Memorizing. Remembering your history, who you are. You know?
Or if he be found in his hand.
And we're found in the hands of the Edomites today. We're still here. You got Jake coming in the truth, want to be a damn Christian like or whatever, talking about the new covenant is already here. If the new covenant is here, why we got to keep these feast days and teach everybody now?
Right.
If the new covenant is here, everybody already know they're Israelites and they're keeping the laws, and we're in the kingdom looking majestic already.
Right.
But we still got to teach. Because what? We're trying to get our people from one place to another. From captivity to what? To the kingdom of heaven, Jerusalem.
Right.
You know?
He shall surely be put to death.
He shall what?
He shall surely be put to death.
100 years of lynching. Every Edomite that took part in this, the Most High gonna kill.
Right.
He gonna put them to death. Like we was talking about in camp, picnic, which means to pick a nigga. To what? To burn. The Lord said you should give an animal as a burnt offering for his feast days. The Edomites took the so-called black and Hispanics, the American, and lynched them and burned them in front of everybody as a sacrifice. Like they do today with the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs and the Rothschilds and little Nas X, the wicked damn demon. All these sacrifices that people are doing. But they're not sacrificing Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Right? That's it.
Yeah, that's good.
Come. I'll bring that up. So the Lord said in Numbers 10 and verse 9, if you go to war in the land against the enemy that oppresseth you, that's the key. This man has been oppressing us for 400 years, man. Now that we're waking up, he's afraid now. This is a law. It says what? You shall blow an alarm with the trumpets.
Right.
We're blowing the trumpets. We're keeping the feast of trumpets right now. We're blowing that trumpet by going out there and teaching our people right now. We're blowing that trumpet by what? Keeping these commandments and keeping these Bible scriptures, man.
That's right.
It's waking up. It's an alarm. It's letting our people know to rise up and letting the enemies know that their kingdom is done. You know what?
Numbers chapter 9, verse
10,
verse 10. Also, in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings,
You know?
that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God.
So the Lord said you're going to blow a trumpet, and it says in your gladness and also in your solemn days. In your happy days and in your sad days. There's a balance. The Most High already know we're going to go through oppression. The Lord already know we're going to be blessed on some days, and certain days it's going to be like rain and pouring. But the Most High said, never forget them. It's a memorial. Still keep these commandments, because the Lord is the one that gives you life and death.
That's right.
The Lord is the one that gives you blessings and curse. And the Lord is the one that gives you trials and tribulations to see how you're going to become in the end. What type of person you're going to be, how you're made of. Right? Drop that and let me get it. Joshua chapter 6 and verse 4. These are the feasts they're supposed to be keeping, man. That's why I keep bringing what the brother was saying at camp today. He said, yo, it's Labor Day and the Feast of Trumpets. The Most High is giving you a choice. Yep. Which one are you going to keep? Which side did you choose? And that, it didn't just happen with this feast day. It also happened, I think it was the Feast of Maccabees, one of them. The Feast of Booths. With the book of Maccabees. Yeah. At that time, around that time, it was Christmas. The Lord was giving you a choice even in those days. Choose Christmas or you're going to keep my feast days. Wow. And the Lord remembered every single choice each person made. Wow. And the time it was that, not just that, it was also Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. This year, last year, it was also Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was all lined up with the holy days of the Most High. He was like, choose which day you going to keep. Let's see. All right? I'll bring you to Joshua chapter 6 and verse 4.
It's the book of Joshua chapter 6 and verse 4. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets.
And 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets, read on.
Of ram's horns.
Read on.
And the 7th day you shall compass the city 7 times.
That represents completion. Right? But it said you shall compass the city 7 times, read on.
And the priest shall blow with the trumpet.
And the priest shall blow with the trumpet. Right? That's pertaining to war. You're sounding the alarm. You're surrounding the city 7 times. What is that speaking about? The Lord got angels all over the world watching, seeing what's happening. Bringing death, destruction, plagues, elements, wrath, tornadoes, storms, floods. The Lord got them all surrounded. Why? Because those are the eyes of the Lord. Read on.
Verse 5. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all of the people shall shout with a great shout.
All the people shall shout with a great shout. And it says what? With a long blast with the ram's horn. That means what? A long sound of the trumpet. Like they said with Judgment Day, like they said with the last trump, every nation on this earth going to hear it. Every nation on earth is going to know the real chosen people that God is back. And they also going to know they got to pray. And it says what? The people with a great shout, read on.
And the wall of the city shall fall down flat,
And the wall of the city shall fall down. Read on.
and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him.
And what is that speaking about? The economy, the structure, America, Babylon, all these nations, all their buildings, everything is crashing down. Their power, their structure. Esau thinking that he's a top dog now. Everything, all their confidence is being brought down. And that's being brought down, it says what? They shall ascend. Right? That's speaking about rising up. Who's rising up? The 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
That's why the Lord said with a great shout. Right? Jump to verse 15.
Verse 15. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times.
Read on.
Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times.
So the Most High has a specific time for everything. Like it said in the book of Job, it said with the Edomites, it said their time of rulership is only for a short time. Every nation has a time to rule. From the time of the Egyptians with Pharaoh, they had a certain time to rule, 400 years. Put us in captivity. So around the time with Nebuchadnezzar, with the Hamites, to around the time with the Greeks, with Alexander the Greek, all the way to Antiochus Epiphanes, all the way to the time of the Romans. Each nation had a set time to rule. But the Lord said when the nation of Israel rule, it's going to be forever.
That's right.
For eternity. So when these heathens talk about this is not fair, we got to get heaven too. No. Heaven represents rulership. So these other nations already have their heaven. And they're having it right now. Right? Hold that. Let me get John 32 and verse 43.
Nah, yeah, like the brothers bring it out. You know what I'm saying? These scriptures is letting us know when, you know what I'm saying, when Esau falls, he right on his heel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in Genesis. You know, you can see all the signs. You see New York and New Jersey flooding. You see California on fire. You know what I'm saying? You constantly see the southern states like Louisiana and Houston. And those states, when they get hit by those hurricanes, they're flooding. So the signs are here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the Most High is at work. And it's high time for our people to come back and get on this side of the law. Because you don't want to be one of those people when that fire comes, you know what I'm saying, when those nuclear missiles hit, and you on the wrong side of the Most High, you're on the wrong side of the law. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to these prophecies. Pay attention. Everything is happening for a reason.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 43. Say, calm, you got it.
Calm.
Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people.
So the Lord told the heathens to rejoice with God's people. Why? Because the heathens got us in captivity. So the Lord said, hey, enjoy your time. How you going to treat my people? Just enjoy it. Do your thing. Do what you got to do. Why? Because the Lord raised up the heathens to judge us.
Calm.
But now that the Most High seen we're waking up, now he's like, all right, there you go. You touch my daughter, you touch my son, did this and that. That's how cruel the Most High is, man. He raised up the heathens to punish us. So once we get it right and lead us in the right direction, now the Most High gonna bring all that punishment on the heathens.
Right.
And it's justified. What they have done to us, we shall require and do unto them. Like it says Zechariah 1:15. It says, I was a little displeased with my people, but you have furthered the affliction. The Edomites came with the buck breaking, with the mental torture, with the psychology, with the just experimenting on us, poisoning us, tricking us, using God's Bible and saying, in God we trust, lying to us, throwing us in jail for unfair laws, creating laws to keep us in wickedness. The Lord said, you have furthered the affliction. I told you just whoop your behind 40 lashes. Nigga, you did 3,000. What the hell are you doing?
Right.
I wanted my kids to learn, to still live and learn their mistakes. No, you killed them. So now, blood requires blood.
Right.
You want to sacrifice my people, burn them in the stake? I'm going to sacrifice your whole nation.
Right.
That's why he even said in the book of Isaiah, he said, I have given Egypt for a ransom for his people. What does that mean? The Lord had the Egyptians reign over us, and then once he was done with them, he pushed them to what? For that hostage situation.
Right.
For judgment now. They had to be sacrificed To what? To bring our people back to the restoration of their glory, who they are.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her, and double unto her double according to her works.
And that's scary. No heathen want to hear that. It said double unto her according to her works.
Revelation 18.
Yeah, 18:6. It said according to her works. It didn't say according to what we know they did to us. No, it said according to every work they have done unto us, stuff that's hidden in darkness.
Right.
Stuff they have done to us that they even portray in the damn dark web of the internet. Where they're selling people. They had some joint, where they were speaking about the Pizzagate, they had some joint where they were selling little boys and girls through codes. For example, they were selling dresses, closets, pillows, and they would have a Jake name on it. I'm selling this pillow of a Xavier for $30,000. People be buying left and right.
The kids in it.
Yeah. They use the code word of the kid that they were selling as the item. All of these different things.
That's wicked.
Stuff that we don't even research, we don't even check, we don't even realize about it.
Right.
Stuff in the dark web, where if they know you in the dark web, whoever's in the dark web and they know you're in the dark web, they could literally track your IP address automatically. Automatically. They have black markets in there. And with the black markets, guess what they selling? Your organs.
Yep.
They selling your organs. It's like going to www.thisandthat.only.com and you got so-called black people getting sold left and right in chains or whatever.
Still
Rape,
slave.
everything, all different things. That's all in the dark web.
Still slave.
Yeah. All of this stuff. So there's a world under a world, a hidden world. And the Edomites know damn well about that world because they're running it. Right? Go back to where you're at. Go down to Joshua chapter 6. We'll go to verse 6.
Verse 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants.
So he will avenge the blood of his servants, read on.
And will render vengeance to his adversary.
And will render vengeance to his adversary. Like the word devil also means adversary. He's speaking strictly of Esau and Edom right there.
Right.
And also the other heathen nations that took part in this, man. The Lord said, I'm going to render vengeance. It's not of man, it's going to be of the Most High. And how is he doing that? It's just a little example with the plagues. With the storms and the thunders and all this stuff, man. Right? Yeah, the floods and all that. We're going to get to that as well. That's all part of the trumpet. Right? So drop that and finish Joshua chapter 6, verse 16. Yeah, verse 16.
Joshua chapter 6, verse 16. And it came to pass at the seventh time, when the priests blew the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city.
It says shout because the Lord is giving you the city. The Lord is giving you what? The necks of your enemies. The Lord is giving you what? That power to rise up against these heathens, man.
Right.
That's what the trumpet read on.
Verse 17. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab, the harlot, shall live. She and all are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent.
So it says only Rahab the harlot shall live. Right? Because when they came in as spies into that land and was scouting and all this stuff, she was willing to help them. So even that's speaking about what? In these times, it's going to be heathens that's going to help us.
Because they believe in this.
Right? Not just they believe in us, because they know that we are the children of God.
Right.
They're going to be cleaving. Like we had a camp in Illinois. This one dude named John. And I thought it was going to be a fight, man. I was like, yo, you broke it down to him, everything, teaching a lesson. And let him know we Israelites broke down John 3:16. By damn 5 minutes in, this man started agreeing with everything I was saying. I was like, you know these Caucasian people are wicked? He said, yep, they are. Yep. I said, you better pray to God. You an Israelite, you are people. If you're not an Israelite, you know judgment is coming for you. You're going to be a slave. He said, yup, all right. He started cleaving everything we were saying. He started cleaving everything. Because he knew, as how he was breaking the scriptures down to him, he realized that he was taught a whole damn lie.
Right.
By the churches. Wherever he was going, he knew it was a lie now. Because he never seen people teach the Bible like how we teach as Hebrew Israelites, with so much understanding. Going from one scripture to this scripture to now he got confounded. He was like, damn. He couldn't believe it. But let's see what the Bible's going to say right here. Hold that. Look at Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. And it says what? In our houses because she hid the messages that we sent. Right? Finish reading on to verse 18.
Verse 18. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed. When ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it.
You see that? The Lord said, keep yourself from this accursed thing. The Most High said he made that city a curse. What is he speaking about? The Most High already plaguing the city. He already put a curse on that city. That city is already a target. It's a target for judgment. Like Sodom and Gomorrah at that time was a target for judgment. To the point that angels and Abraham was speaking, and he was like, yo, isn't it, would you say the city was at least one good person or 10? And he saved who? His nephew Lot. But that city still had to get rained down with fire and brimstone. Why? Because the judgment of the Lord, no person on this earth going to stop it. Why? Because the Most High already watched all the wickedness happen first. And then the sins reach up to the heavens, and then the Most High going to drop down to heaven. That's right. But he says, the accursed city, anything that have touched that's a curse, don't have it near you. That's why the Lord said in Leviticus 20:26, I have severed you and made you holy, and you shall be mine. Holy pertaining to what? Keeping God's commandments and laws. You're being blessed as you're keeping these feast days. The rest that's not keeping it, they're being cursed. And that curse pertaining to judgment. And we're going to show that. Let me get Isaiah 34 and verse 4. We'll go back to Joshua. All right? And bring it to that.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 23.
So as Rahab was cleaving to Israelites and she helped them, that's what's going to happen in these last days. Some he's going to be cleaving unto us. Right? Because now they're going to know. They don't want to take that judgment. They still got to take it, but we're like, hey, it might lessen your sentence. Right? Bring it out.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days,
we speak about in these days, the future, read on.
it shall come to pass that 10 men,
It says 10 men, which also represents completion. Read on.
shall take hold out of all languages of the nations,
Read on.
even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew.
Now remember in the time when Christ, when he was walking through the city, and that one woman, she started holding on to his garment, and she got healed. She was crawling, and she held on to his garment. It says the heathens, when they realize we the real Jews, they're going to be holding on to us. They're going to be chasing us, running us down. What can I do? What you want? You want my money? You want my daughter? You want my family? You want my house? You want my mansion? Whatever you want.
Trying to touch the fringes.
Try to touch the fringes, man. But like your coach said in HOI Atlantic City, hop off my fringes and hop into the lake of fire where you belong. Right? Read on.
Saying, we will go with you.
They say what?
We will go with you.
That's why Isaiah chapter 14 hits. When it said we shall take them.
Okay.
There's going to be some heathens saying, we'll go with you willingly. Why? Read on.
For we have heard that God is with you.
Because they have heard. Like Rahab have heard. Not just heard, but she's seen it. She's seen when the Lord brought plagues and destruction on Egypt, man.
Right.
And it was biblical. It was like a damn surgeon. The Lord spiced them up and just surgical, just wiped them out, man. Brick by brick by brick, each plague was used to decimate, to make sure the Egyptians will never recover today.
Right.
So now the actual Egyptians are the Sudanese. And look how they look. Starving, famine, everything. Now the Sudanese are damn pirates now.
Right.
For food. Skinny as hell talking about, yeah, I need captain. I need captain now. No, you was the captain when you was with Pharaoh, but not today now.
Right.
There's a new captain in charge, which are the Edomites. And they're going to get the same judgment, even worse than the Pharaoh got in that time. Remember, the Sudanese were the people of Egypt. Look at them today. They are destroyed. Look at Egypt today. You got Edomites going all over the pyramids and having fun all over the damn place, man. It's a mockery now. But the Lord's still going to wipe out these heathens, man. Right?
Yeah, what the brother's saying is not just spiritual, and it's not just prophecy in this book. We're seeing it literally this day where the heathens, when we at camp, they coming up trying to grab on the fringes. We went in D.C. on January the 6th, right? On January the 6th. I'm standing on the line while one of the brothers was teaching, and some heathens, some Edomites, came up and said, I mean, this close to the camp. She said, this close to me. I'm steady telling her to back up. And her and her husband, they just come and standing this close to me. You know what I'm saying? And she's sitting down. I couldn't get on the move, else I would have had to get off the line and then just make a move right there. So I wasn't looking. She was trying to touch on my fringes. And the brother from Philly, Brother Kasaja, he was watching because he was watching our back. So he was like, Yashiya, watch out, watch out, watch out. She's trying to grab the fringes. So I looked, I said, no, you can't touch. Don't touch. You know what I'm saying? She literally was trying to cleave to the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Feeling that if she could touch our fringes, she might get some type of
healing,
anointment or healing. You see what I'm saying? And the other brothers immediately came over there once Kasaja said that, and they moved them. You know what I'm saying? We made them move back. You know what I'm saying? But I was reading and doing this and that. I couldn't really just enforce it. But anyway, yeah, they literally are doing that. When they see us, they've read this before. And when they see it, they know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's funny because when you wear your fringes out and you talking to people, the other nations, when they see our fringes, it marvels them. Like, they're in awe when they see our fringes. And that be the first thing, like, they always want to touch, like, oh, let me, like, you know what it is. Why you want to touch, like, why you want to feel it? But see, they know that we the Israelites. And they know the power that we serve. They know that power, you know, the word God means power. They know that power is with us. They know it's with us. They know about the lady that touched Christ. So they want to see if this is going to happen to them.
Right.
It goes to the same, man. That's why it says in Isaiah 52:1, it said, put on your beautiful garments. Jake be ashamed. He might know he's Israelite, but he looking at us thinking we dressing crazy. No. My wife can tell you, wherever we went, we had the beautiful garments on and everything, decked out looking in royalty. They thought we was going to a damn wedding or something.
Right.
Like, where y'all going to? Nah, this is how we supposed to be dressing. Regular. They thought we was going to a wedding. They were just staring at every freaking Edomite. Would just look, oh my God, oh, you look so beautiful. Everything. This is how we're supposed to be as a nation, royalty. Not sagging your pants and everything, and the sisters dressing as whores or whatever. No, come in royalty. Top down, everything, man. Look beautiful how you're supposed to be. Rep Yahweh Shemel Shai. Right. And the Most High is going to bless you more and more and more. And a lot of people will give you respect. Even with Jake, you trying to highlight a girl, and she dressed like a damn thot, whatever, he going to treat her like one. Right. But if she dressed in modest apparel and everything, and she got her head straight and everything, guess what? He got to come at her different now. And she more than likely, like, nah, I'm not just going to fall for anything you say. You got to get yourself right. Right. That's respect right there, man. Right? So let's go back to Joshua chapter 6 and go to verse 19. So the Lord said, when you take anything that's a curse and you bring it upon yourself and around you, you're cursing not just yourself, you're destroying the rest of the people around you. That's why the Most High says, separate from your enemies so you can be blessed. Come, bring it up.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, 5 and 6. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye shall do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
It says what?
Whither ye go to possess it.
That also means and wherever you at, wherever land you at. Read on.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of nations.
This is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. Right. When we tell the people, be that light, That's your wisdom and understanding when you are keeping these commandments, your royalty, your garments, in the sight of these nations. You're being set apart. They know you a God, a king on this earth. And a princess, a daughter of Zion. They know it. That's why they hate you. Even when the daughters of Zion in wickedness, the Shedemites is jealous as hell. Ain't trying to copy after them. That's why when you move it in royalty, move it in the mind, that knowing that you are on this earth, that the Most High has chosen you, you start to move different. You start to act different. Your mind is of what? We're trying to rule in righteousness, man. Not worried about just a block or a little corner. No, we want to rule the whole world.
That's right.
Because this is ours. You know what?
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
It says, surely this great nation. That's why even in the time of 1 Samuel, where you had the Queen of Sheba go to King Solomon. And when she went into the place of Solomon, and she looked around, she seen Israelites looking glorious. She didn't know who was Solomon. She didn't know which person was King Solomon. Why? Because everybody looked beautiful. Everybody was winning. Everybody looked beautiful, gorgeous, garments and everything, decked out, gold and royalty.
Right.
She didn't even know who was who. Until he said he was Solomon, and then she's like, oh shit. And then she's like, wait, hold up. Even his servants look like this? Like what the?
Right.
His servants looking like kings and royal, and his wives and everything, and the daughters and sons. Like what the hell? Look more majestic than her, and she's a queen. And she was confounded. And she said, I know thus that the God of Israel is with you. Because no people look like this right here. With wisdom like this. The God of Israel is only with the Israelites. She knew it, man. You know what?
For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
So like the Lord said, I made you holy and you're unto me. That's why I said, what nation is like this, like an Israelite? So royal, so beautiful, so majestic, so knowledgeable, so wise. All these priors, all these instructions that we're taught. And the Lord said, I'm going to put you above every nation. So they know we the best. But now today, we're following the ways of wickedness, man. Now we want to follow everybody else instead of following Yahweh by Shem and Shai. Right? Drop that and go to 2 Chronicles. You go back to
Salakia. Also, like the brother bringing out, yeah, man. You know, it seems that the women of the heathen women, when they see us in royalty, they're in awe. And the class of men who are not the warrior class. But when you see the warrior class Edomites or just the working class Edomites, or the ones that, let's just say this, the ones that have a little wisdom, not just Edomites, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the ones that have a little wisdom that read these scriptures, when they see your fringes, don't they look vexed?
Yeah, they do.
Don't they look mad?
It look like they got a problem with it.
Don't they look upset like they want to do something about it?
Yeah.
But they know they cowards, so they can't. You know what I'm saying? They never gonna try to come to you face to face. You know, but they're vexed. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, the so-called wise men of the heathen or the warrior class men, even if they don't know what it is,
They will find
what you
out.
got on, they will be pissed when they see you. They look at you. And just because they may not even know exactly what it is, but they can know it's some type of spirituality. And they know you're dealing with some type of wisdom. They don't want you to have any wisdom. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just to point that out that, yeah, we see those looks and we know what those looks are. We know what that means. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna stop a damn thing at all. But I'm just saying, understand, recognize that also when you wear these fringes, pay attention to your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to the enemies. Pay attention because they are paying attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't want our brothers and sisters to just walk out there and think that, you know, it's all good just because you're looking mighty. You know what I'm saying? You have to be prepared too. You have to pay attention too. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
We'll get Joshua chapter 6, verse 19.
The book of Joshua chapter 6, verse 19. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord.
So the Lord said all their royalty, all their gold, all their silver, all their materials, that's of Yahweh Shemel Shai. If you go to war against any nation, the spoils, you give all credit to Yahweh Shemel Shai first. And then the Most High will bless you because the Lord don't need none of that stuff. Because why? Because we're his gold and silver. He don't need the items. We are literally his gold and silver.
Wow.
Right? And we're going to prove that. Hold that. Let's get Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3. We'll go to verse. Let's see. Verse 5. Verse 4, matter of fact. Verse 4. Joel chapter 3, verse 4.
The book of Joel chapter 3, verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
So Tyre, Zidon is the Hamites, and the coast of Palestine is the Arabics. Right? The Africans and the Arabics. Right? The thing about the Africans and the Arabics is the one that put the Africans in Islam. And then used them, teamed up with them to bring us into captivity. So it's funny now, in coast of Palestine, or Palestine is speaking about right now, the Arabics is in Israel or Jerusalem, and they don't belong there.
Right.
Fighting against who? The fake Jewish man who will try to claim that that's his land. Right? Read on.
Will ye render me a recompense?
Read on.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
So it's like, for example, if somebody does something so vicious and wicked to you, or even kill, or even take away somebody that you love, or anything that you love, it gets to the point that you don't even want that thing back. You lose something, you don't even want it back. You want blood. Because it's something that can't be replaced. They might kill your wife or the husband or whatever. You can't replace that. So you're like, you know what? You got to go now too. So the Lord said, if you try to give back my people, which you have took, the Lord said, if you return back the Israelites and you have put in slavery, I don't even want that. I don't even want that. I want more than that. I want my people to get brought back in righteousness, in royalty, ruling, and I want to put your ass to sleep. That's why I said, if you recompense me, the Lord said, I'm going to recompense you swiftly. I'm going to judge your behind, I'm going to destroy you, and I'm going to raise my people up that you sold, and I'm going to have them destroy your ass. Read on.
Verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried
taken his what?
my silver and my gold.
The Lord, he's not speaking about the items. Like in the book of Daniel, when the heathens took the golden cups, the priestly cups that's coming from the temples of Israelites, of Israel, and had the heathens drink it, the Lord said, after that, you done. It's over for you. You took in my royal cups and you drinking it? When it's supposed to be of the priests, which are Hebrew Israelites, the only priests on this earth is supposed to be Hebrew Israelites, nobody else. And you have defiled the items and the rulership and the people itself. Right? Read on.
And have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
And have carried your temples goodly pleasant things. That's twofold. That's speaking about our items, our cups, our golds and everything. For example, the Roman Catholic Church. All them golds that you see, that they have around, the gold menorahs and all this stuff, the crosses and all that stuff, they took that from us, the materials. All the gold on this earth, all that came from us. We was basking in it because what? We are the actual gold and silver. Like, for example, Israelites, which pertain to Prince of the Power. The reason why we got so much soul and rhythm, because the Most High blessed us with. That's why what? Everything we do is with soul and rhythm. The way we cook is with rhythm, with soul, with the soul of the earth. The way we dance, the way we move, the way we talk. Everything we talk with a vibration, with a rhythm. Like with trumpets, musical stuff. So we put what? We put the soul in everything. But they have destroyed us in that right there. The gold and silver, why do you think we wear so much jewelry? Because that's our spirit. And everything, we make everything just of life. We bless it all. We bring light into stuff. We bring color into darkness, man.
You got the Midas touch.
Yeah, we got the Midas touch. And everything, man. So now Esau got the damn movies, all these kings and the queens and the chairs and everything. Yo, the Edomites don't even look right with gold, man. They don't even look right.
Right.
Really don't.
At all. Our skin and how our skin looks, and it glows, and then the gold and the silver and the melanin, everything just look magnified more and more. But with them, they look stale as hell, pale as hell.
Right.
They're like they just took somebody's gold chain and put it on. Like they about to say, all right, action, cut.
Right.
Get this stuff off from me. Get it off.
Right.
Take the whole gold, get it off from me. You give this to Jake, man. He gonna wear that till the day he die. He'll even fake the funk. Go to the Jacob's jewelry, whatever. And that's funny. The Edomites, Jacob's jewelry. Jacob's jewelry.
Right.
You see that? That's us. Don't you know the damn Jewish man with Stein or Reuben sign, right? Or gold seam? Why they got jewelry on their last name? That was us. All their last names got different type of jewelry. That's us. They even stole all of that. Right?
Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians.
You have sold it to the white man. Read on.
That ye might remove them far from their borders.
To push us away from our land, Jerusalem. That's why the Lord said, when there's a war, you blow that trumpet for what? Against your enemies that have oppressed you. Look how beautiful the Most High works. He got Ishmael and he got the Hamites here in America around us. Why? So that when it's time for us to get our get back, our link back, we ain't got to go chase them. They're right next door.
Right.
And judgment going to come. Read on.
Verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold
That's
them.
part of blowing the trumpet. Blowing the trumpet for what? The alarm. To raise back up that spirit.
Right.
The Lord said, I'm going to raise them to the place you have sold them. Read on. And they shall do what?
And will return your recompense upon your own head.
The Lord going to give us that power to get payback against these damn devils. I'm going to raise them up where you sold them, and guess what? They're going to do the same thing back to you. Right? Now, how do you prove that? Jump all the way to verse, let me see. Oh, here we go. Jump to verse 8. Verse 8. God.
And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah.
See that? The Lord said, I'm going to sell the heathens back to Judah. And that represents all Israel. Northern and southern kingdom, they're going to get their payback. We're going to have black markets with heathens, Edomites. You know, we're going to be on a damn stand. You ever seen that TV show Cracker? That TV show Cracker? Right? It's a glorious show. One episode, but that's all we need. Just to keep us going. Right? He's like, yeah, stay here, Cracker. Stay here, Cracker.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got 3, 4, 400, 500, 600. Oh, there you go, sold. Yeah. Mr. Billy Bob Thornton sold to the cotton field of Yashiya.
I know that one episode.
Yeah, that's all we needed. One shot.
They cut that off quick, didn't they?
Yeah, immediately. Right? So the Lord said he's going to sell them back to the Grecians. And why that's happening, jump to verse 9.
And anybody that don't want their slaves, guess what? I'll tell you what. I got something for them to do. I got something for them. We just gonna have some fun.
Yeah, for them.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We gonna make sure they feel it. You know what I mean?
All right?
Verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war.
It says what?
Prepare war.
It says prepare war. Read on.
Wake up the mighty men.
That's why that trumpet is there. The trumpet is used to wake up the chosen people of God, and also to what? Along these heathens that y'all about to get destroyed. The army of the Most High has woken up now. Read on.
Let all the men of war draw near.
Let all the men of war. That's speaking about the Israelites and the heathens, the mighty men on each side. Let them all draw for war now. We're going to war every time we go out to camp and teach. But it's a spiritual war first. Why? Because we got to raise our people back up. We got to return back their spirit of who they are. We got to win that battle. To what? To bring them back to the marriage. To what? To help them and let them know who they are. To pull them back to righteousness. And then that's building up the army of Yahweh Shem Shai. Then we can get ready for the physical. Right? Drop that. Let's go to Joshua chapter 6 and go to verse 20.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 6, verse 20. So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass. When the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat.
That the what?
That the wall fell down flat.
So after that 7th day of compassing that city, after the final stuff, after the final ritual which pertained to what? Sacrificing that city. The Lord wanted the priest to walk around the city. It was like a target. Aim it at it. Don't let it get out of place. Don't let nobody escape. Surround it. Surround the place. And then blow that trumpet. When the people shouted, the walls start to fall down. Why? Because the Most High was bringing judgment on that place. You know?
So that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
And they did what?
And they took the city.
And they took the city. But the Lord had to authorize it first. You can't go to war, the Most High don't allow it first. King David, the most mightiest man with his army. Every time before he went to war, he prayed to Yahweh Shem Shai, and he was asking the Most High if we should go to war or not. And if we're going to win or not. And then the Most High said, go. And they took the city, we on.
Verse 21. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city.
And they utterly decimated all that was in the city. Read on.
Both man and woman.
Read on.
Young and old.
Read on.
And ox and sheep.
Read on.
And ass.
Read on.
With the edge of the sword.
Destroyed everybody with the edge of the sword. The Most High, that's why he's saying, blow that trumpet for war. Right? We're going to prove that. I'll bring it to you now. 2 Chronicles chapter.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 13, verse 14.
This is the God that we serve. When the Most High says it's time for you to go ahead and get your vengeance in righteousness, after blowing that trumpet at ram's horn, the Most High said destroy everything.
Right.
Don't let nothing live.
Right.
Like he told Saul in 1 Samuel 15. He told Saul, go to Amalek, that wicked bastard, and wipe them all out.
That's right.
Wipe them all out. Saul didn't do it, but guess what? The men of the Lord these days, we're going to do it.
That's right.
The Lord give us that green light button, we're going to do it, man.
Right.
Why? Because we have suffered so much. And the Lord just given us built up anger and oppression. So now, when it's time for the Lord to let loose, we're going to blow up like a damn nuclear bomb, and we're going to unleash the wrath of Yahweh Shem Shai.
All right.
We on?
Verse 14. And when Judah looked back, behold, the battle was before and behind. And they cried unto Yahweh.
And they cried unto Yahweh. When Judah looked back, he was surrounded. And they cried unto the Most High. And read on.
And the priest sounded with the trumpet.
Same as the time of the wars of Jericho. The vibration, the power. Them crying and sighing for Yahweh Shem Shai to destroy the city. Like we doing today.
Right.
Whenever we go out there and teach, whenever we keeping these commandments, whenever we keeping these feast days, don't you know that's a war against these heathens? They will call this treason. Instead of keeping Labor Day, we're keeping the Feast of Trumpets of the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai. That's treason of us doing behind enemy lines. But we don't give a damn because we know who's our God and who's our King.
That's right.
Read on.
Then the men of Judah gave a shout, and as the men of Judah shouted, it came to pass that Yahweh smote Jeroboam and all Israel before Ahrayahla and Judah.
So it says the men of Judah gave a shout. Why is it talking about the men of Judah? Because the word Judah means high praise. High praise. Like the Lord says, the Lord don't hear the praise of the wicked, of the sinners. But the Lord hears the prayers of what? The righteous, the meek. And the veil is much. The angels answer the call, and what happens? Judgment comes down. The tribe of Judah, when they pray to the Most High, singing the voices and everything, the Most High hears that. But when you pray and you sing to the Most High in righteousness, the Lord will bless you for that. And that's pertaining to the trumpet as well, which is the musical instruments. Singing songs for Yahweh Shem Shah in righteousness, uplifting the people, the Most High hears all of that. You're being blessed. Because music is a vibration. But if you push that vibration in wickedness, guess what? Be careful what you ask for. You want to sing and rap and talk about being a murderer or a killer or a drug dealer, this and that. You're going to push somebody wig back and everything. Like Fabulous had that song. He said, get your mind right. I push the gun to the left side of your head and push your mind right. Nigga, your mind's supposed to be on the commandments.
Right.
You worried about shooting another brother in the head or whatever. You're supposed to be repenting and keeping these commandments, man. And getting your mind right so you can be able to teach the people to get their mind right as well.
Right.
Right? You know?
And the children of Israel fled before Judah, and God delivered them into their hand.
So the children of Israel fled before Judah. That's speaking about the northern and southern kingdom to fight against each other. And the Most High was on the side of the one that was righteous, which was the southern kingdom at that time. Why? Because the northern kingdom was following the ways of idolatry. Right? Drop that. Let me get on Joel chapter 2, verse 1.
It's the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in his holy mountain. What is that alarm? Let's find out. Read on.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
Let all the people that's in Zion, which are Israelites, tremble. It said, blow that trumpet. When we cry loud and spare not, we're speaking to our people to wake up, to repent. When you blow the trumpet, it's telling your people to wake up, repent. Or the blood is going to be on your hands if you don't say nothing.
That's right.
If there's a person walking across the street and you see a damn car coming like 100 miles an hour, and the dude got headphones on, you gotta be like, yo, watch out, watch out. You be like, yo, watch out. Yo, get out of there, watch out. The car is coming. Why? Because you're wanting him to do what? Save his life.
Save his life.
That's what we're doing, Leon.
Verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountain.
A day of darkness and gloominess. We're warning the people that destruction is coming. Darkness also represents death. Read on.
As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
What is that speaking about? The Lord is speaking about the 144,000. His battle axe on this earth. Why is that very important? Because when the Most High raised up those battle axes in Yahweh Shem Shah, they're going to bring judgment on every wicked person on this earth. No respect of persons. And what's scary about that is 1 Peter 4:17. The Lord said judgment starts in the house of the Lord first. That's why he says what? It says blow your trumpet in Zion. In Zion where it says to blow it. Right. Hold that. Let me get Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4. Let me hold that verse.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So they say go into the midst of the city, to who? Jerusalem, that's Zion. Blow that trumpet, alarm, warn them, read on.
And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite.
That alarm, that trumpet is used to warn the people. He said, go after them and smite. Read on.
Let not your eyes spare.
Neither, let not your eyes spare. Ain't going to be no respect of persons. Why? Because we're blowing that trumpet by going out there and teaching the people. Soon enough, going to come to that point, that trumpet is going to be a judgment now. When you have done, when you have chosen, you're going to have to stay in your lot now. Read on.
Neither have ye pity.
Read on.
Slay utterly, old and young.
The Lord ain't having no respect of persons. Because it said in 1 Chronicles, it said old or young, man or woman, if you don't come to serve the Lord, you're going to get put to death.
Right.
Slay ugly, old and young, read on.
Both maids and little children.
And little children. The Lord don't care. He worried about a little boy or girl that got killed or whatever. The Lord said, no, in that day, everyone's going to be judged. You know?
And women.
And what?
And women.
Now, check this. It says slave maids. Maids speaking about women. Right? And then it said women again. What do you think that means? The Lord said the women twice. He said the maids, which represents the women, and then he said women again. Because all over the world, is majority of women over the men. And not just that, it's going to be more wicked women than men that's getting slain.
Right.
The wicked man's going to get slain too, but it's majority more women. That's why the Lord said, Isaiah 4:1, one man shall have 7 women. Why? Because throughout the numbers, for every one man, there's at least 12 women. And that's of the Most High. The Most High already set all that up. So it's going to be majority women that's going to get slaughtered. Read on.
But come not near any man whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary.
And begin at his sanctuary. What is that speaking about? Begin at the priests. Begin at those that know the knowledge of this truth. At those that's teaching the people and leading them astray. From the pastors to the wicked Creflo Dollars to the wicked T.D. Jakes to the people that's leading the flock astray. If you have any knowledge of the Bible and you're teaching, the Lord said begin with them first.
Right.
Read on.
Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
So the Lord said begin with the ancient men. That's speaking about who? The elders. There's a hierarchy. That's why the elders that's getting blessed, Most High bless them, he's watching over them. But the ones that's wicked, the Most High going to slaughter them.
Right.
And then it goes on down from the elders to senior men and everything. That's why we say, be careful what you ask for. If you're coming out here doing the work of the Most High, you better be careful. You better be truly sincere about doing His work. Because you can try to hide from the people, but the Most High see everything you're doing. Right? Drop that and go back to Revelation. I finished one.
It's the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 2. Let me start from the top.
Come.
A day of darkness, of gloominess, a day of clouds, and of thick
A
darkness.
day of clouds and thick darkness. Now you got to picture this in your mind. All the clouds, which represents chariots, is going to be what? Covering the whole earth. Why? Because that's speaking about judgment. Some people might be thinking the chariots there to save them. That's Israelites. No, they're there to judge your ass too. If you ain't keeping these laws, don't expect to be saved.
Right.
You know what?
As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
That's speaking about the judgments. The Most High going to raise up that battle axe. They're going to execute judgment on this whole entire earth. Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Now that's twofold. So the earth shall quake before them. That's speaking about the nuclear missiles. The earth shall shake and it tremble. Right? And it says what? The heavens shall tremble, which is speaking about the skies and also speaking about the nation that's in rulership. The mighty men that's in rulership, which are the heathens, especially the Edomites, they shall tremble in fear. And it says the sun and the moon shall be dark. Why? Because whenever missiles rain down, like nuclear fire, cascaded, blocking out the sun, like in the movie 300, when Leonidas fought against the king Xerxes, and he threw the spear at him, and then he shot all the arrows at him. And what happened? So many arrows came, and it blocked out the sun for like 2 seconds. It blocked out the sun. That's these scriptures right here. From that movie, they got this from the Bible, right? And it says what? And the stars shall withdraw their shining. The stars represents knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The stars also represents the people in hierarchy in these high situations, the presidents, the government, the people with the deep knowledge, the secrecy. It says going to withdraw their shining. Why? Because that shining represents like Lucifer, the morning star, who represents the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Caucasian man. It's going to withdraw, it's going to turn to darkness. Why? Because the Most High going to wipe them out.
Right.
All his knowledge is going to be gone. And that knowledge is going to be given to his rightful people, which is the nation of Israel. Read on.
Verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
And the Lord shall utter his voice like a trumpet before his army, which is the men of the Lord, the battle axes, you know?
For his camp.
For his what?
For his camp.
So the Most High got a camp. I thought there was supposed to be no camp. But why does the Most High has a camp? Because the word host means the Lord of armies. Host means camp, army. And they call him what? The Lord of hosts. So they're calling him the Lord of armies.
Right.
Why? Because the Most High is the Lord of war. There you go. And the camp pertains to what? Gathering. The Lord got a camp too. How you know? Because in 1 Kings it speaks about what? The angels on the right and the angels on the left. You want to say something? Right? The angels on the right and the angels on the left. That's his camp. And then also the angels, the archangels, that's all of the Most High. He controls all of that. That's a congregation. You know?
For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executed his word.
It says camp is very great. The one on the earth is speaking about the 144,000, the battle axes. That's why it says prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. That's speaking about in the spirit. Wake up the sons of God. The battle axes of Yashiya. Give them back their knowledge of who they are. And like a weapon, like an armor, you got to strengthen that weapon. You got to sharpen that weapon. What does that speak about? Sharpening your knowledge, your sword, the scriptures, your precepts. Knowing who you are. Knowing how to defend the word, defend the gospel, which is a shield. Put on the whole armor of God. This is of the Most High, man. As a warrior, you got to put on the whole armor to prepare for war. The Lord is giving you that spiritual armor first. And then that physical one will come after. Read on.
For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible. And who can abide it? Verse 12. Therefore also now, saith Yahweh, turn even to me with all your heart.
So the Lord said, repent, come back to him. Why? Because the day of the Lord is great and terrible. You don't want to know parts of that. You don't want to get none of those judgments, man. But while you're doing that, jump to verse 15. God, verse 15.
God. Verse 15. Blow the trumpet in Zion.
Blow the trumpet in Zion. Right? You know?
Sanctify and fast.
Now it says what?
Sanctify and fast.
That's what we got to start doing more today too. The Lord said a fast. Sanctify a fast. Why is the fast is so important and so beautiful for us but dangerous for the heathens? Because when you're fasting, the Most High might even answer your prayers even quicker. Even quicker. You pray for judgment and destruction on these heathens, the Most High might start immediately. Brothers and sisters have been fasting for judgment against Esau, not knowing the Lord was answering all their prayers. All these stones and these plagues. That's happening. That's the Most High answering your prayers. That's just a little example. He's going to give you more and more and more. But you got to do it the correct way. The Lord want to hear you sigh and cry, man, because the Lord's sick and tired of these damn heathens rules. He's sick and tired of it, man. You know?
Call a solemn assembly.
See? Call a solemn assembly. A solemn pertaining to what? A sadness. An assembly pertaining to what? A gathering. Why are we gathering like an army, like a camp? As a nation, as a people, for what? For war against the heathens. Right? Drop that and give Revelation chapter 8, verse 1.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 8, verse 1.
Bring it out.
And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour.
So he said when he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven. Why? Because you know it's about to get real. That seventh seal is that last seal. It's about to get real. It's over now. Right? Read on.
And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets.
It was given 7 trumpets. Remember, there were 7 trumpets for the priests on the land when it was going against the walls of Jericho. Right? Now it says 7 angels speaking about the heavens. Same as the earth, same as of the heavens. Read on.
And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints.
And that incense speaking about what? Frankincense and myrrh. This is the blessing of the Lord. This is what the Most High want to smell. Frankincense and myrrh. Not weed, not drugs, not all these freaking abominations. No, this is a blessing right here. Because what? It cast away demons. Ask his brother, all the camps we've been to, brothers had the frankincense and myrrh, the demons just start rousing up like crazy. Like they hate the smell. Especially the ones that say they hate the smell, you gotta watch them.
Yeah.
They got demons on them.
Can we get some of that stuff though?
Yeah, come on. Frankincense and myrrh.
Because there's certain thing they got it in.
Or the can thing?
Oh,
yeah.
I'll speak to the brother about it.
And a lot of times when we burn in that frankincense and myrrh, guess what? The demons don't even come up to the camp.
At all.
It just be like the spirits that need to be edified come up to the camp. I seen that about too. And then when we wasn't burning it, all types of demons going crazy coming up to the camp. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we paid attention to all that. So yeah, it does ward off the demons.
Oh, that's something else.
Con. And I'm gonna give you a quick one. Let me give Revelation chapter 10, verse 18. No, 18 and 10. 18 and 10. Hold on, you got it. All right. Go back to that first verse again. What it spoke about with the angel. Verse 2. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, where it says like an hour and a half.
And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before Yahweh, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints.
Right. Hold that. I'm gonna show you this. It says he shall give for offering for the praise of the much saints, right? Why? When it says the angel, it was a silence for like a half an hour, hour and a half. Let me get Revelation chapter 18, verse 10.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 10. And there are seven kings.
18 and 10.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city.
That mighty city, right? Read on.
For in 1 hour.
For in what?
For in 1 hour.
For in what?
For in 1 hour.
For in 1 hour, read on.
Thy judgment come.
Thy judgment is coming.
Wow,
That's why it was that silence. Because that was what? It's time for the harvest to reap. It said the seventh angel, that's the last trump. It's time now. Babylon is done. Yo, this is the most wickedest kingdom. They don't understand. The time of Sodom and Gomorrah, the sins reached up into the heavens, and fire and brimstone came. The Egyptians were oppressing the children of Israel, and the Most High sent 10 plagues to decimate the whole damn thing. Slaughter all of them. The one with the Greeks, and Antiochus Epiphanes, Alexander the Greek, all these other nations, they got destroyed. The Lord used the Romans to destroy the Greeks. Judas Maccabees and his brother fought against the Greeks at that time to hold them off. And was still destroying them with angels and everything. But it wasn't that time. The Lord used the Romans to destroy the Greeks. And then the Greeks got decimated. And then the Romans got decimated. But the Lord said, Babylon is encompassed all of them. That silence of the angels, the seventh angel, the same trumpet, the seventh trumpet. That's silence is over. Like silence of the lamb. That slaughter is coming. Right? So go back to what we got. And let's go finish out.
Who was it, Josh?
But not drop on it. You finish those.
Verse 4. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints,
Which came with the prayers of the saints. We know it. And we know the saints are Israelites. We know it.
ascended up before Yahweh out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth.
And filled it with the fire of the altar and did what?
And cast it into the earth.
And did what?
And cast it into the earth.
Now hold that and let's get Isaiah chapter 29 verse 6. These are pre-judgment that the Lord is bringing to this earth. So, and filled it and cast it into the earth. Right? Let's see these pre-judgment the Most High is bringing right now.
God, it's the book of Isaiah chapter 29 verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, And the flame of devouring fire.
And the what?
And the flame of devouring fire.
This is being visited by Yahweh Shemel Shah. He's allowing these angels to bring judgment on this earth. It says flame of devouring fire. That's why the Edomites now, they said never in history the whole earth was getting heat up like this. And they want to blame it on global warming. To where it even melts the ice caps in Alaska. Never happened like this before. About 2 months ago, you had, the heat was so high that it scorched like billions of sea creatures.
Damn.
The heat was so high, it scorched billions of sea creatures, man. People losing their mind, breaking temperatures in New York, scorching heat. And the Lord said he gave that angel the power to what? To raise up that heat on the sun. Right? Let me get a quick one. Let me see.
They lucky.
Go ahead.
They were saying that what was it? July was the hottest month ever recorded. All around the world. July is the hottest month.
And crazy. You know what's crazy about that? Because in the month of July is what? 4th of July, right?
Right.
What do people usually do on the 4th of July? Fireworks. Barbecue. So what the hell do you think the Lord doing to this earth right now?
Barbecue.
Every celebration they have done against Yahweh Shem Shai, the wicked holidays, the Lord is reversing it on them right now. Like he did with what? Because each holiday is like you sacrificing to the idol gods. Each holiday. How do I know that? Because there's a show called The Gods of America. No, The American Gods. Right? HBO, American Gods. And they show what? Each holiday manifested as a person that they were celebrating. Those are idol gods that people are worshiping. They don't even know it. Every time you celebrate American holiday, you're worshiping an idol god.
Right.
Every holiday is an idol god.
Right.
So now the Lord is doing to America today what he did to Egypt in those days. Each of the plagues was used against the idol Egyptian gods. Each plague. The plague of darkness was used against the sun god Ra, the Egyptian sun god. The plague of the blood in the waters was used against the alligator god of the waters. Zobak, something like that. And how do I know that? There's a game called Assassin's Creed. And they show it in the game. Assassin's Creed Egypt, they show it in the game. All the idol gods. And if you beat the boss,
There's a lot here about that movie, American Gods. Me and my wife watched that. And they had a guy for Easter.
God.
They were a white lady.
God.
She had a rabbit
With the hat,
on
with the
and
hat,
stuff.
yeah.
And they had 2 Jesuses up in there.
come. Yup.
So that lets you know that it is about the gods of the holidays. It's different serving another God when you celebrate these holidays.
And they put it right in front of your face. But now why they put it in front of your face? Because you're desensitized to it. You're already keeping their holidays now.
Right.
So you're used to it. So now when they put a person to represent that holiday, guess what? You cheering them on. You're like, oh, so that's what that means. Oh, all right, cool. I already know. And you still keeping the damn holiday.
Yep.
Not knowing you worshiping the idol God. Right?
Revelation 16:8.
Come.
The book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 8. And the 4th angel poured out his vial upon the sun,
And the 4th angel put the vial upon the sun and did what?
and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
To scorch men with fire. That's speaking about what? That heat. He's increasing the heat of the sun on the earth. That's why Esau wants to say it's global warming now. But these Edomites, which can't last in the sun, they get it cooked. They get it baked. All things on this earth right now is getting scorched left and right. Left and right. And guess who's the only ones that can handle it?
We can.
The Hebrew Israelites. The people with melon that's blessed by Yahweh Shem. Forest fires, wildfires in the West Coast. Don't forget, remember, I think it was 7 months ago, remember California looked like damn Mars.
Yeah.
It looked like Mars. The skies was red for like a week straight. And that was a fire.
Man.
That was a fire. Don't forget the Amazonian rainforest was caught with fire.
The rainforest?
Yeah, the rainforest.
Man.
And killed billions of animals. Billions of animals. So much fire. Huh?
Couldn't even put it out.
You couldn't even put it out. Yeah. And another fire in California. During the week, they tried to ban the Bible. Was a damn fire. The Most High is bringing plagues on this earth, and we're praying for it. That's what we're saying. You fasted and prayed. The Most High answering your prayers. You're just not looking, but He's answering your prayers. The thunders, the lightnings, all this stuff. There was 76 Indians that got struck with lightning 3 weeks ago. The Washington Monument got struck with lightning. There was a damn statue that got struck with lightning. The condominium in Florida, the building, got struck with lightning. You had an Edomite that survived and said he heard the sound of thunder, and the building collapsed, and it killed 34 Jews in there, Jewish people in there. The Most High is answering our prayers. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. And you know how cold the Lord is? Because in Isaiah 34 and 5, the Lord said, I'm going to bathe my sword upon Idumea from heaven. The Lord brought that sword, which is a lightning strike, and killed 34 Jews, Jewish men, like Isaiah 34. The Most High is answering our prayers. Right? You on?
Just before we get too far away from it, when the brother was speaking about the holidays and how they tie into idolatry, on December the 25th, you know what I'm saying? There's so many other deities and false gods whose so-called birthday is December the 25th. But all of a sudden, Jesus, who the Catholic Church, you know what I'm saying, say his birthday is on December the 25th. Guess what? You got all these other deities whose birthday is on that day, so they try to get you to celebrate your, you know what I'm saying, your Savior on a day that's not his day, not his birthday. And this is a list of all of these different deities that you're actually serving, that our people are actually worshiping when they worship Christmas. I mean, when they celebrate Christmas. Don't even know that they're serving Horus, an Ethiopian Sudanese god. They're serving Buddha, a god from Nepal. Krishna, an Indian god. Zarathustra, an Iranian god, birthday on December the 25th. Hercules, a Greek god. Mithra, a Persian god. Dionysus, a Greek god. Tammuz, a Babylonian god, the son of Nimrod. Hermes. See people wearing all that the Hermes belts and the Hermes attire that the Europeans, Hermes is a Greek god. Adonis, a Phoenician god. Jesus Christ, a god that they made up. There's no such thing as Jesus. The letter J wasn't even invented until the 1600s. So if you're celebrating Christmas, you're really worshiping all of these false deities, and you commit idolatry. And we wonder why, for all these years, on Christmas, people die, get killed, get shot. All type of atrocities happen on Christmas to our people. And we wonder why. And we tell our kids, that's how wicked the goddamn white man is. Got us telling our kids looking forward all year long to Christmas. Got us saving up our money all year long just to worship idols. So that we can lose our blessings. Damn holidays, man, it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing under the sun.
And like the brother was saying, and that's the crafty council. Because that crafty council, they just started recently when he took us out of West Africa or whatever, and it set us up and distracted us and confused us and everything, switched our nationalities. No, that even started in the Garden of Eden. That even went to the part with Nimrod, when he tried to gather all the nations together with him to speak the same language, to come as one to fight against God. You ever seen the movie The Avengers? The Avengers is about what? All the so-called superheroes gathering together to fight against who? Thanos. Thanos is who? It's Christ. That's Christ and God. So all these so-called superheroes teamed up, had like 15 different movies to build their own story up, their own characters, their own nations. And then they all team up at the last movie to gather and fight against Thanos, which represents fight against Yahweh Shah. And try to bring us in it to fight against our own king. And what happened when Thanos stepped foot? It was a wrap. snapped his finger and what? Wiped out half of the whole existence. It had infinity gauntlet and rings, and it was 6. That's half. It represents destruction. He's supposed to have 12, which is what? The 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
They stole all that from us.
Hmm.
That's why the Lord says what? Blow that trumpet. Wake up our people to who they are. Remember the days of old. Remember everything. Like it says what? The valley of dry bones is waking up now. We're coming back to our royalty of who we truly are. Right? We're finished on
Verse 5. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth.
They cast it into the earth. Read on.
And there were voices
Read on.
and thunderings
And what?
and thunderings
And thunderings and what?
and lightning
And what?
and an earthquake
And what?
and an
And
earthquake.
an earthquake. This is of the Most High. All these are judgments. Right? And how you know that? Let me get Revelation chapter 11. It says, and if earthquakes. Let's find out what this earthquake is going to do. This is all of blowing the trumpet. Right? Let me get Revelation chapter 11 and let's go to verse 11.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11,
Slack it. Go to verse 8.
verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
So the bodies, the dead bodies speaking about the Israelites. That's why this book right here, the Valley of Dry Bones. We were dead, but the Most High has done what? Jump all the way to verse 11.
Verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet.
After 3 days and a half, the Spirit of God entered into the children of Israel. But how you got to do that? By blowing the trumpet.
God.
The Lord has woken us up. Remember, it's an alarm to wake you up. When you're sleeping, you put an alarm to what? To wake you up. You don't want to be late for what? For work or whatever. Guess what? You don't want to be late for your salvation now.
Right.
So it's to wake you up. Why? Because now it's time to awake out of sleep. Because your salvation is near. Had to blow that trumpet. Read on.
And great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Great fear fell upon them. Why? Because now the Hebrew Israelites know they're connected with God. Now they know the Most High will give them power to fight against their enemies and give them laws and instructions on how to use the trumpet to blow against your enemies for war.
Right.
To know now you're not no nigga or no damn thought or no damn spick or whatever. To know your royalty. To wake up to back to your royalty and your power of who you are. As the children of God. Read on.
Verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
So that great voice, which also represents the trumpet, was speaking about Yahweh. That last trump. Read on.
And their enemies beheld them.
And their what?
And their enemies beheld them.
So their enemies beheld. So the Lord did what? He beamed up the righteous, the elect first, and protected them, like say Isaiah 26 and verse 20, come back into that chamber, that secret chamber, where the Most High going to bring destruction on the rest of the world. So we're being protected in that hedge of protection as we're keeping these commandments in these feast days. And it says, and held them up unto what? Unto the cloud, which is the chariots getting beamed up. That's why there's so many chariots all over the world right now. Why? Because it's the time for war. That's part of that trumpet. Read on.
Verse 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake.
And the same hour was a what?
A great earthquake.
Now go back to that part again about the earthquake. That's why I said, remember in Revelation chapter 18 and 1, it says what? In that hour of silence. After that hour, then it said that last trumpet. That's speaking about the last trumpet. Was great earthquake and signs. Right? Hold that and go down to the
Verse 5.
car.
And there were voices and thunderings and lightning and an earthquake.
And a what?
And an earthquake.
And an earthquake. This is not going to be no regular earthquake. When Christ died on that cross, then it started to have an earthquake. And it started to shake. And then people realized, hold up, he was telling the truth. He's really the Son of God. Like, oh, snap. He cracked the sky. The earth, everything. That was all symbolically represents what? When Christ come back, he's going to do the same thing again. But it's going to be in his glory now. Read on.
And the 7 angels, which had the 7 trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood.
It said the first angel sounded that trumpet, and they found hail and fire mingled with blood. When you get a chance, look up hailstorms this year. You will be surprised. There was a hailstorm, I think in Germany or something, the size of damn rocks. The size of the rocks. The Lord said in Revelation, it says what? It says that earthquake is going to represent, after that hour, 10 part of the city fell, and an earthquake was slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the God of heaven. When that last earthquake came, that's that slaughter. That's that shaking of the world. That's that judgment that the Most High is bringing. Right? Drop that. Let me get Isaiah 24. Yeah, keep on. Let me get Isaiah 24.
And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees were burnt up.
You see that? The third part of trees was burnt up. What happened when we speak about the Amazonian rainforest? It caught on fire. This is judgment of the Lord. Why is that very important? Because the Amazonian rainforest is basically about 50% of the trees on the earth. Now the earth can represent what? The trees represents what? A lung. A lung. Don't you know when they're speaking about the jab or whatever they want to call it, or the 5G towers and everything, when people's getting sick, whatever, in order to cleanse the air, or instead of using a humidifier, guess what? The plants with the humidifiers. The trees. That's the original humidifier. But what Esau has done today, he took everything that's of nature and created it in his way. Of technology. That's why the Most High said like a garden, like a husbandry. Knowing the plants, knowing the herbs, know what can use to poison stuff to heal you. All different things. That's why he says the plant, the herbs, to eat it. We already knew these stuff before. We already knew the knowledge of all these plants and healthy and everything. We already knew this. We didn't even need no damn plugged-in humidifier. We knew exactly which tree or which plant to pick. Put it in one room, and the whole room will be smelling good. All of this stuff, man. This is of nature, natural stuff for us. Right? You know?
And all green grass was burnt up.
And all the green grass was burnt up. This is the plants. You know?
And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain, burning with fire, was cast into the sea.
Was cast into the sea. What is that mountain representing? That mountain is representing what? The damn Edomites. Babylon. That rock. That statue getting cast into the sea. Right? Read it again from the top.
And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain, burning with fire, was cast into the sea.
You know what?
And the third part of the sea became blood.
And the third part of the sea became blood. Like in the time of Egypt. Well, what happened? The whole river was turned into blood. That represents also the creatures in the water. And also the nations. Because the nations are the seas. Like the river of water, running waters. The Lord said in Isaiah 19 and 19, it says the heathen shall come down upon thee like a flood. But when they come down upon us, the Lord shall raise up a standard against them. The flood, the nations, the sea, it represents these heathens.
Like the woman with the flood.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That represents these heathens. Right? Read on. Let me get Revelation.
And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed.
Third part of the creatures where had life died. That represents the heathens. Right? And how you know that? With Babylon with the rock. Let me get Revelation 18 verse 21.
The book of Revelation chapter 18 verse 21.
Start at verse 20.
Verse 20, everybody got to say, Con? Rejoice over her, thou heaven. Salaki. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her.
How's the Lord going to avenge you? Right? Jump to verse 19.
Verse 19. Salaki. And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping, and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich, and all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she is made desolate.
See, that's speaking about Babylon. It said all the nations that was made rich, because she had ships in the seas. That's speaking about who? The nations. The nations represents the seas. Their ships represents who? Each nation coming in with their rulership and their power to oppress who? The nation of Israel. They boarded their ships around what? That land, which is of Babylon, and surround the place. Come in and trade deals, treaties and all this stuff. Partaking in all this stuff. And also ships represents who? For the nations of Israel that's getting put in captivity in these ships. To be slaves. Right? Now it says what? Put dust on their head. Now I'm going to give you a quick precept. Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. Right? Isaiah chapter 47 verse 1. And you know Revelation. It says, come down and sit in the dust. When they put dust on their head, that represents what? They lost their power seat. They're going down. Sit in the dust, O who? O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Why? Because in 1 hour, you're going to be destroyed. Your ships, the seas, which is the nation, the people that was partaking in your trading and oppressing us, put us on these slave ships, now is a recompense day. Now they got to pay. Now they all got to pay. All right, so go back to Revelation 18:21.
Book of Revelation chapter 18 verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone.
Read on.
And cast it into the sea.
And did what?
And cast it into the sea.
It picked up a stone, like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea. Read on.
Saying, thus with violence.
It says what?
Thus with violence.
It says what?
Thus with violence.
What about the 100 years of lynching?
Thus with violence.
So same as the Edomites have done to the children of Israel and the heathens have done unto us, the Lord said, thus with what?
Thus with violence.
Thus with violence. Read on.
Shall that great city Babylon be thrown down.
It shall be what?
Shall be thrown down.
It shall be thrown down. That's why the Lord said in Malachi, he shall build, but I will do what?
Throw down.
But he will throw down and destroy. Not just throw down, but will destroy, obliterate it in 1 hour. That's why we started Revelation chapter 18, Revelations in verse 1, where it said it was silence. Hour and a half, silence. Why? Because that 7th trumpet is out now. Right? So now go back to Revelations. Go back to verse 10. Jump to verse 8.
Revelation chapter 8, verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain, burning with fire, was cast into the sea.
That great mountain. Read that part again. The great mountain.
And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone. And cast it into the sea.
And cast that stone into the sea. That's Babylon. That's America. His power is done. It's getting thrown down, Vidor.
Saying thus with violence.
Thus with violence. People worry about us just teaching the words of God and warning them. Yeah. You don't know. The Most High going to break angels, man. And they're going to really get down. You can't say a damn thing to these angels. They're there for what? Death and destruction. They're the reapers of death. They're here to reap. Right? Beyond.
Shall that great city Babylon be thrown down?
Shall Babylon be thrown down? Everything going to be destroyed, man. 10 plagues in Egypt is nothing compared to what's going to happen to this place today. These floods, these waters, these fires, these earthquakes. The Lord is taking all the judgments of every nation ever put. He's going to bring it here to Babylon. This is going to be the greatest example ever in history. America is going to be the greatest example ever in history. It's going to be a one-shot kill for this place. Right? I'll finish the part of
And the third part of the sea became blood.
And it became blood. Thus with violence, like it says in Jeremiah and Isaiah. It says the saints shall wash their feet under the bloods of the heathens, man. The Lord said in Jeremiah, curses the man that hold back his soul from blood. It said, thus with blood, you know.
And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died.
The heathens that was prospering, that was rejoicing in our oppression, now they're done. Now they're dead. You know?
And the third part of the ships were destroyed.
And the third part of the ships were destroyed.
The nations.
Yeah, their rulership, their trading, their oppressing, their tools, their wicked inventions, all that's being destroyed. their items, their vehicles, all that's being destroyed. We don't.
And the third angel sounded, and as it were a great in the Salakia. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of water.
We don't.
And the name of the star is called Wormwood.
Now you know what's funny? They had a they were speaking about a star that was called Wormwood. Talking about people was looking up on space and they said this Wormwood star is coming to Earth to destroy and all this stuff. They were speaking about planet Nibiru and all this stuff. No, the Most High said no. Watch, look what the Lord said. We don't.
And the third part of the waters became wormwood.
We don't.
And many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter.
It said many men died of the war. What is that speaking about? Famine. It is over. You're going to be hungry, you're going to be thirsty, you ain't going to get nothing no more. Because what? That living waters that you're supposed to be searching for was this truth. But you have denied the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua because we coming out there and teaching and you don't want to listen to us. So now the Most High say you're going to die of thirst. We don't?
And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was split.
We don't?
And the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars.
We don't?
So as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise.
The sun, the moon, and the stars. And that's what like the brother was saying with the idolatry. With Nimrod and Semiramis and Tammuz. Nimrod represented the sun idol worship. Semiramis represented the moon for the queen of heaven. The female so-called, they always say the black woman is God and all that stuff. They don't know that's idolatry when you're saying that. You're trying to push the Most High and the Son, Yahweh out of the way.
Right.
And then Tammuz represented the stars. That's the one that they said that Nimrod came back in the spirit as Tammuz.
Right.
And that's star worship. You're worshiping the sun, the moon, and stars in the heavens. Only the heathens do that. We're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
We are.
And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe.
Now the angel said, woe, woe, woe. Why did he say woe 3 times?
Wow.
I always heard it once. That must be dangerous.
Right. Why he said woe 3 times?
3 means going high.
Yeah, but why he said woe?
Destruction.
Right. But the word woe he's speaking about was World War III.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because it said in Revelation, one woe has passed and the second one is coming.
Wow.
That already happened. That's a prophecy already happened. Then another one says what? 2 woe has passed and the third one coming quickly.
Right.
That's World War III. Read on.
To the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound.
See? The 3 angels which are yet to sound. That's speaking about World War III. It ain't come yet.
Right.
3 angels.
It ain't come. The World War III ain't come yet. But the angels prophesy and saying that woe, woe, woe. World War III is coming. While all of this is happening, it's a buildup. Right? Read on.
And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace.
Read on.
And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth.
Now, if you look it up, for about 3 years already, so much locust was happening on the east side of the world, near East Africa. Eating up the plants, eating up the harvest and everything. But the Lord said that locust that he's speaking about is speaking about missiles. That's coming to this place, like a plague. You know?
And unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their forehead.
But only those men, that's the missiles. The missiles not supposed to hurt those that's keeping the laws of God. How you know that? Let me get Isaiah chapter 45. No, Isaiah 54 and 16.
Isaiah
54 and 16. All that pertains to the trumpet. When it says prepare for war, you're blowing the trumpet. That's pertaining to all things. That's pertaining to destruction and judgment on this earth. It's not just going to be missiles, that's it. No. Everything is coming against this whole world. And against these heathens. And those that's caught up in this situation, they're going to be done. Bring it out.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument of his work.
An instrument of the Most High's work. That's speaking about the smith, the coals of the fire, speaking about the scientists.
Right.
The Most High gave them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to create these atomic bombs. But it's going to be used for their destruction. You know?
And I have created the waster to destroy.
The waster to destroy, you know?
No weapon that is formed against thee.
But that same waster is what? You know?
No weapon formed against thee shall prosper.
But that same nuclear bomb is not going to work against the men of the Lord. And the children of God, the Most High keep as the elect. They're going to be protected, you know?
And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
Thou shalt condemn. That's why it says every idle word shall be put into judgment. And the key thing is that every tongue thou shalt rise up against thee. Tongue is used for what? For power of life and death. When we're going out there and teaching, we're using our mouth to what? To bring forth life.
Right.
To breathe that breath of life back to our people. Restore back their health of who they are. But when you're using that same mouth to preach of what? Wickedness. Songs and music of wickedness. You're blowing your trumpet to preach of wickedness, man.
Right.
You're prophesying death to your people. Talking about being a murderer, a killer, bringing guns and all this stuff, shooting and killing. You're prophesying death to your people. So that's why I say be careful when you ask for it. You talk about death, guess what happens? You start being killed. Right? Drop that and bring what you got. Revelation 11 and 15.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever.
So Christ shall reign forever. Why? Because that's going to be of the last trump. That's the time of war. When Christ comes, like it says, the seven angels, when they come, it's going to be of that last trump. It's over. This is it. This is of the judgment day that we're speaking about. That everyone's going to hear all over the world. Right? Hold that. Let me get First Thessalonians 4 and 6. 14. No, 4 and 16.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of the archangel, with the
voice of the archangel, read on.
And with the trump of God.
With the trumpet of who?
Of God.
With the trumpet of God. That's speaking about that last seal. That's speaking about this is it. The Lord is going to visit this earth and this is over. It's over. Right? Read on.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Those that's keeping the commandments of the Most High, that endure to the end, the saints that have to be sacrificed in this truth, the Most High going to raise them up first. Why? Because they passed their test first. Right? Hold that and go to Revelation 7 and 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1. After these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Which represents destruction. Right? And speaking about winds, the tornadoes and the Hurricane Ida. Hurricane Ida that came through to the East Coast and decimated the place, man. Floods and waters and everything. And that ain't nothing. And the thing about Hurricane Ida, we looked it up. It was a sister named Ida B. Wells that was born in Mississippi. And the hurricane had the power. It stopped at Mississippi and it reversed the water.
Right.
What?
The Hurricane Ida reversed the Mississippi water. It reversed it. And the sister named Ida B. Wells, she was a pro-activist against lynching of black people. And a journalist. And she hated them Edomites. She hated them Edomites.
She tore them up.
She hated their asses. And you think it's a coincidence the hurricane was called Hurricane Ida and stopped at Mississippi, and the power of the hurricane was so strong, it reversed the waters. What is that speaking about? The Lord reversing the curse. Taking it off of Israel and put it on who? The heathens. And Most High will. We ain't going to miss this one.
Right.
Just was I was a little younger.
Yeah, that's Habakkuk 1:5. The Lord said, I'm going to work a work in your days which the heathens won't even believe. Even if I tell you. The Lord reversing the curse on all these heathens, man. Putting the curse on all of them. And keeping the children of Israel preserved and blessed. Right?
That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
We have brothers in the East Coast of New York and New Jersey. They said, there's one brother, Lataza, he said, yo, it was so many Jewish people that was trying to gentrify the neighborhoods in New York and New Jersey. The damn wind came through and blew their damn houses. Flooded their place, jacked their place up. But wherever the brothers was living, they was good. They was safe. Imagine a damn tornado hit the dude across the street that's a heathen. And go right past you. And you're like, what the?
Right.
That's the most high. Yeah, it ain't gonna hurt you. That's the most high. You know? Good. No shot touch you.
Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to the earth and the sea.
You know?
Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
So it says, don't bring that destruction on this earth. Don't bring that missile yet. Don't bring that judgment on this earth until we protect it and seal the elect of Yahweh Shimon Shai first. That's scary right there. Why? Because like the Lord is saying, hey, I'm going to pull away my children, keep them in safety, hide them real quick, because I'm about to go in. I'm about to whoop some ass. And anything I see in my sight is over. It's it. I'm killing everything in sight. But my kids behind me, they're behind me protected, now I can go all out. That's what the Lord won't do to this man.
Right.
Straight up. Right? Drop that.
I got a precept. Precept to go with what the word is just bringing out. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 5. Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. So yeah, like the brother said, the men of the Lord, whosoever keeping the commandments shall feel no evil thing. So they don't might hit right across the street. You're gonna just be looking at it like, dang. You know what I'm saying? The Most High and the angels gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not keeping these commandments, you know, you might get swept up by that storm.
Come, like the brother was saying. That's why I was saying, we just gotta keep these feast days, man. Keep these commandments. It's very simple. We're being protected. Right? Now speaking about the seventh trumpet, I got a quick precept. This is Job chapter 5, verse 19. Right? It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. So the Lord said 6 troubles, but in 7 no evil shall touch you. What is that speaking about? That plague, that nuclear missile that's coming to America. Weapon that's formed against thee shall not prosper. But the rest of the people are going to get judged. Right? So go back to the First Thessalonians.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 17. Then we, which are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord.
So the Lord said, after that last trump, those that's going to get raised back up, beamed up into the clouds, which is the chariots, to meet the Lord in the air. Right? Let me get 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 52. Right? 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 51. Verse 51.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump.
At the what?
At the last trump.
At the last trump. What is that last trump? That's of death and destruction that's coming to this place. that's going to be destroyed in 1 hour. But at the last trump, what happens? Read on.
For the trumpet shall sound.
The trumpet shall what?
For the trumpet shall
The
sound.
trumpet shall sound. Read on.
And the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
Like it says in 1 Thessalonians 4. Those that die in this truth shall be raised up first. But those that are still here, it said the trumpet shall sound, that last trump. That sound that the whole world will hear and see. A so-called black man Messiah with the billions of angels ready for war. And it shall sound, and it says the dead and incorruptible shall be raised up. It shall be what?
And we shall be changed.
And we all shall be changed. That's what it means. They shall be caught up into the clouds, beamed up, and shall be changed. That's what the trumpet represents as well. It represents change. When that sound, it represents change. Right? It's a changing of times. Right? Drop that and go back to the
Revelation chapter 11, verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord, and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever.
So the children of Israel will get the kingdom forever and ever. And Yahweh Shem Shah is going to be ruling. Read on.
And the 24 elders which sat before God on their seats fell upon their faces and worship God, saying, we give thee thanks, O Lord God Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry.
And the nations were what?
Were angry.
And the nations were angry. Read on.
And thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged.
That they should be judged. That's why they mad, because now they're being judged.
Right.
That's the time of war. Now they're being judged. Read on.
And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the
And now
prophets.
it says, thou shalt give reward unto your servants. So the angels is judging the heathens. Yahweh Shem Shah judging the heathens. They're getting their judgment now, and now they're mad, and at the same time, the Lord's rewarding us. They're going down, we're going up. We're rising up, they're going down. Read on.
Reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints.
And to the servants and to the saints. Read on.
And to them that fear thy name.
So it says the servants and the saints, the prophets, the 144,000 and the 1/3, which is the men, women, and children of all Israel. The Most High is going to reward us. Read on.
Small and great.
It says small and great. Read on.
And shouldest destroy them which destroyeth the earth.
You see that? That's what the heathens done.
Destroy the other.
They have destroyed the earth. That's why it says in Jeremiah, no, it says in Revelation 14, it says that reaper, sickle, right? It's time to reap now. It's time to reap. It's time to pay back. Because every nation on this earth have touched the children of Israel. Now they got to pay back. You know?
And the temple of God was open in heaven.
And the temple of God was open in heaven. You know?
And there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there was lightnings and voices.
They were what?
Lightnings and voices.
Like it said in Exodus 20. When everybody was talking about they wanted to be in Moses' seat, and they said, Moses, God speaking to us as well. And then the Lord Yahweh Shem Shah to the clouds spoke to them with lightning and death. And now they said, oh, no, Moses, no, you can do it. We are.
Right.
We are. Right? Hold that and bring it to you. First Maccabees.
So the book of First Maccabees, chapter 9, verse 13. They also, of Judah's side, even they sounded their trumpets also.
They sounded their trumpets for war. Read on.
So that the earth shook at the noise of the armies.
The earth shook at the noise of the armies, man. The whole earth is going to shake. When the missiles drop, the whole earth is shaking right now because the Israelites is waking up. That's why the Lord is bringing plagues on this whole earth. Read on.
And the battle continued from morning till night.
Read on.
Verse 14. Now when Judas perceived that Bacchides and the strength of his army were on the right side, he took with him all the hardy men.
So Judas took mighty men that was ready to fight for Yahweh Shem Shah and for their people. And they had what? They had a trumpet for what? For war. That same trumpet he used to what? For the Most High to call down the angels for them. This trumpet right here, everybody like it's something regular. No, the Most High has blessed this, man. The mighty men of Yahweh Shem Shai, whatever they do, they sign, they cry, they pray for Yahweh Shem Shai to bring destruction. The Most High is blessing them. The daughters of Zion are doing the work of the Lord. That's holding it down with the feast days and the food and everything. The Most High is blessing all of us. That's why as we work as a team in a war, you have to work as a team. Like the movie we watched, 300. Yeah, Levi said 300 go out for war in the army, and his wife was holding it down, and the sisters and the woman was holding down the cities. So now, when the men came back with the spoils of war, everybody prospered. Everybody. And came back with rewards and spoils, golds and silver and everything. Had the sisters looking decked out and everything. They was like, damn, I like this girl right here. Hey, this is all yours, man. Hey, do what you gotta do, man. That's all yours. You know, that's why it's beautiful to come back as a nation, as a people. Right? Drop that and finish that up.
And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Now that woman that's clothed with the sun, right? That's speaking about the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That woman represents Israel. The moon on her feet represents what? Like it says in Proverbs 6:23. It says the Lord is a lamp, like a light, like how the moon shines. It directs your steps. Right? And with the crowns, speaking about what? The 12 tribes of Israel. Right? You know?
12 stars.
Yeah, 12 stars. Huh.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon.
You already know that's the Edomites. But in that story right there, it was speaking about Herod trying to kill Christ when he was being born.
Right.
You know?
Having 7 heads and 10 horns,
You know?
and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
That third part was speaking about the southern kingdom. When they was around Jerusalem at that time, the three tribes, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, was around the time with the Edomites and the Romans. Right? The rest of the nine, which were the northern kingdom, they was known as Gentiles because they wasn't keeping the commandments of the Lord.
Right.
You know?
And did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
That's what Esau is doing today. Israel's being delivered out of captivity, and Esau's trying to stop it. For all these jabs and all these new fake laws and abominations. He's trying to stop us from getting our kingdom.
Right.
But the Lord says what? That last trump, when that happens, is a wrap. These are the last days that we're in. That's why we're sounding the trumpet right now. Coming back to the Most High in righteousness, and the Most High will bless us. Right? And like the age, let it drop, because the heathen's going forth. You know? The heathen's going forth, man. Let's end it over, 2 Ledger 69.
Right.
Heathen's going forth, man. The HOI going to rise.
That's right.
2 Ledger 69. Okay.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So the Edomites, the heathen, is the end of the world. That's of that last trump. When that trump comes, when people hear that sound, like it says in Revelation 11, Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7, where it says, every nation on this earth shall mourn when Christ is seen and heard. And he's going to judge those that have done wicked things unto him. But those that's keeping the laws, Yahweh Shem Shai, the kingdom of heaven is for us. That's why we keep these laws, these commandments, keep these feast days. Instead of keeping a damn Labor Day, keep the Feast of Trumpets.
Right.
And like the brother was saying, the Most High was saying, Joshua, choose you this day who you want to serve. You going to serve the Lord, or you going to serve these heathens?
Right.
You know, you hold on to Esau, your ass going to die with the damn bloody sea and the missiles. But as for me and my house, we're going to keep the commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai.
No.
Any scriptures you want to bring out?
That's it.
So with that, all praise Yahweh Shem Shai. That's the end of the service. We was going to focus on Feast of Trumpets. So all the scripture based on the trumpets. We know it's also the new moon as well, but we want to focus on the Feast of Trumpets, blowing of the trumpets, and keeping the commandments of the Lord. Alright?
Con.
That, praise the Lord, Shimon Shans, the end of the service.
All praise.
Blow the trumpet, do a prayer for the blessing of the food, and anointing prayer for everybody. So we got your trumpets. And we can turn it off back.
Turn it off now.
Yeah, both of them.